Yeah.
Now, do you think that I possess the ability to recreate something as masterful as that?
You definitely do.
She believes in me. This one. Okay. So we're gonna laugh. You have a big jaw. I've had such a great time painting along with Janine here at the Big Picture Paint and Sip Studio right here in Sandy Port. And of course, if you're looking for more fabulous things to do, don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. We're going to keep you on top of everything that is adventurous and fun and fabulous. All right. Okay.
That brings day 2 of enrichment of my mind, body, and soul to an end. Day 3 begins in just a moment in one of my very favorite places, a spa.
It's time to spring forward. On Sunday, March 13th, daylight saving time comes into effect. So at 2 a.m., remember to turn your clocks forward by 1 hour. This message brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
It's the final day of my mind, body, and soul refresher, and I'm here at Windermere Day Spa and Salon to pamper my body with a spa treatment. They've already chosen the services I'm getting, and I can't wait to see what they have planned for me.
Oh, we're going to take you right this way so you can begin.
Okay, wonderful. I'm so excited. Let's go.
First, I'm having a revitalizer facial, which is a relaxing treatment that slows down the aging process and increases blood circulation and oxygen flow. This particular facial has 5 parts and cleanses, exfoliates, and moisturizes. The revitalizer is a natural way to bright, glowing, soft, and shining skin. First, there's a vitamin veil cleanser to remove makeup. The vitamin veil is a soybean oil-based, non-foaming cleanser that gently removes not only makeup, but also dirt and impurities. It leaves behind an invisible veil of antioxidants. Next comes the foaming lipid replacing cleanser, a revitalizing cleanser that effectively removes even more dirt without damaging the skin barrier or the keratin. Then comes the Micro Honey Exfoliator to remove dead skin cells and surface proteins. This is made of micro beads of natural beeswax that gently cleanse and exfoliate while absorbing excess oil. Now, the tea tree mask, which is designed to deliver antioxidants to the skin, tighten pores, and smooth blemishes. The green tea extracts in it also calm and soothe during a facial, giving the skin a clear, even tone with a matte finish. And the final step is the special hydrating cream that increases moisture content and protects the skin from water loss. Its avocado, olive, and macadamia nut oils rehydrate dry, flaky skin, and soothe irritation, while the vitamin E shields the skin from free radicals. Now for the rest of my body. A pineapple sugar body scrub. Sugar scrubs are an exfoliating body treatment that are much more gentle than salt scrubs. They remove the outermost layer of dead skin cells and also hydrate the skin. And the pineapple's sweet aroma makes you feel so good while the scrub is working. After a sugar scrub, the oils in the pineapple leave your skin soft and supple, just like baby skin. I feel like a new woman, a fabulous woman.
Okay, and it's time to shower. Feel glowy.
What a wonderful weekend this has been. My mind, body, and soul have been renewed and re-energized. The forest primeval got me in touch with the beautiful, serene Bahamian nature and started my weekend perfectly. Then Evolve Functional Fitness showed me so many new ways to take better care of my body that kickboxing really relieved a lot of stress. I learned how to nourish my body, especially after a workout, with Liquid Nutrition's yummy and healthy choices. Then, beginning the day on the beach with yoga was really a wonderful way to get my body in tune with the universe. And ready for a visit to a luxurious, gorgeous condo that really looks like a perfect home for me. Ending my day getting in touch with my inner artist and wine lover, all at the same time, really inspired my creative soul and relaxed me even more. And of course, ending this wonderful weekend with a day of spa pampering put the icing on the cake. Now that my body, mind, and soul are fully relaxed and rejuvenated, I'm going to spend the rest of the day hanging out with one of my friends on his yacht, sip some wine, and get ready for my next fab venture right here on Fabulous Living Bahamian Style.
Let's chill in my villa, sip on some champagne, all friendly people calling you by name, exquisite mansions, hotels and homes, a new adventure wherever we roam. Succulent seafood, delicious dining, personal chefs make things to your liking. So many islands, gems and keys, beauty to explore, taste and see. I'm living the fabulous life ahead. Let's live this life forever. Share each moment, our treasure. Let's live this life forever. Share each moment, our treasure. Fabulous living Bahamian style. Let's live the life of movies and magazines. Get a taste of the islands, enjoy everything. Embark on a journey.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, residents on Grand Bahama still displaced post-Hurricane Dorian. Hear what the Minister of Housing had to say. Also, the opening of a new distillery expected to provide an economic boost for Grand Bahama. And police needs your help in locating this wanted suspect. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Farkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, 2 years post the destruction of Hurricane Dorian, some Grand Bahamians remain displaced and without a place to call home. The Minister of Transport and Housing, JoBeth Colby Davis, telling ZNS News that addressing the housing challenges on Grand Bahama and Abaco remains a priority for the government. Reports indicate that there are over 1,000 applications for homes in Abaco alone, while many on Grand Bahama continue to struggle through the rebuilding process.
We have been reaching out. I sent a team down earlier and we looked at the inventory that housing has with the land, and we're also looking at the demand. So what we're now getting ready to do is come back with our customer service team and applications unit, and they'll put on a housing fair. That's what we do before we actually begin to plan out building, because that tells us what the real demand is, what the bracket of approval ratings are from the banks, and so that we can manage expectations and make sure that we fall within the bracket of where people can afford the homes.
The minister also has responsibility of the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation, where arrears has been a long-standing issue, and here's what she had to say.
I've been looking into that, and I just asked my team to do a full-fledged review and audit. And once that audit is complete, I'll be able to give more information in terms of that. But what we do want to do is help persons stay in their homes. We don't want to have persons out on the street. And so we're putting together some plans, but that will only come after the review, so we understand exactly what the situation is, where we are, and then begin to assess and help persons out.
Meanwhile, discussions continue on the long-awaited $200 million Carnival Cruise Port project slated for Grand Bahama. A heads of agreement was signed back in 2019, and it is hoped that the investment would add an economic boost to Grand Bahama's struggling economy. However, that cruise port project has since received some major delays. Our ZNS News team spoke to the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, who shared this update.
Something will be happening within the next 30 days. Well, let me put it, within the next 90 days, I hope to see something happening positively.
Now, the announcement of the resumption of Family Island regattas and homecoming is welcomed news for many throughout the country. Regattas, homecomings, and festivals have been supportive economic bursts for Family Islands, and tonight, the chairperson of the Grand Bahama Regatta Committee tells our Ramiko Knowles that the island's budget has already been submitted to host the sailing component. And if all goes as planned, Grand Bahama Regatta will take place on July 22nd through the 23rd.
Over the years, Regatta has injected some $500,000 into the Grand Bahama community. Since the pandemic, there has been a halt on the cultural event on Grand Bahama and throughout the country. The announcement this week that Regatta is set to be back this year spells good news for organizers and vendors. Additionally, skippers throughout the Bahamas can set sail once again as a result of the recent approval. With that, Chairman of the Grand Bahama Committee, Shabita Campbell, says this year they are focusing on the sailing component.
We want to say thank you to the Prime Minister in relaxing for us to have festivals such as regattas. It's been a long time coming.
Regatta has been a part of the Bahamian culture for years. Campbell adds that it is an event Bahamians look forward to each year.
Regatta calls for corporate cooperation and financial participation. And so we understand the climate that we're in financially. And so we're going to try and do our best to focus on the sailing component to cover that end of the budget. And with the government's assistance, we trust that we'll be able to host a regatta in July.
And what is regatta without entertainment?
We'll have music available, and we will have persons who want to sell food available. What we'll do is we'll have to strategically think about it and probably tap on to the Smiths Point community, tap onto Pirates Cove and Tony Macaroni and the other little vendors that are out here to be able to produce food for persons who participate.
Campbell says they are not sure how many skippers will take part in this year's regatta, but they are getting ready.
The skippers, they come from throughout the Bahamas. Okay, Andres tends to be one of our big ones. Andres, Maguana, San Salvador, that's the San Sal boat. And then you have Long Island. Well, they always tapping up and asking, and he has been one of our winners for the past 2 years, Colin. So we always get them from the various islands when they do come.
And in the future, she says they're hoping to host an E-Class regatta.
Grand Bahama has 2 E-Class sloops. One is by a prestigious family on the island, and one is by a local sailor, 2 brothers. So we have 2 E-Class sloops, and if we can get 3 more, we'll be able to have our own E-Class regatta. We want our children to also participate. That's where the E-Class sloops come in, because if we can get them, they'll grow the sport for us, and then again, our money will truly stay in Freeport.
Now, Tino Beach has long been the home for Grand Bahama's Regatta, but organizers say other locations are also an option.
We always hear about the person saying, you know, Tino Beach doesn't make the feeling or the flair that of a regatta in the city of Freeport. And so taking it into Smiths Point, into a community, was a good event. It was a good initiative. It was a good partnership. Again, that's something that we'll be open and willing to explore with the residents of Smiths Point to go back into Smiths Point and house the Grand Bahama Regatta.
Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
In other news, some economic activity on tap for Grand Bahama as a new distillery company is opening its doors on the island. As Jamila Mizik reports, the newest rum production company is also looking to employ a number of Bahamians.
It is the newest rum production company on the island. Chief Investment Officer at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Derek Newbold, congratulating the owner of Bahamas Distillery Company, Alan Bassett, on the new business venture. He says he met with Bassett just over a year ago to discuss the idea.
During that meeting, we discussed the feasibility of Bahamas Distillery actually setting up a facility here in Freeport. And I think we all walked away from that meeting with the same conclusion, that based on the type of business they wanted to set up in the Bahamas, Freeport was the best location. And from that point on, our team has been assisting them with securing the necessary approvals to set up their facility here in Freeport.
Alan Bassett, founder of Bahamas Distillery Company Limited, shares how the idea was birthed.
I've always been passionate about rum and production of rum and spirits, and had this dream to start a rum distillery. Obviously, if you're going to have a rum distillery, you need to be in the Caribbean. This is the home. This is the history behind rum production globally. So, you know, just in the process of finding our home where we'd like to be, we've visited numerous places across the Caribbean, and our first visit to Grand Bahama really touched me.
He says the ease of doing business in Grand Bahama has been remarkable, which is why he knew it was the place for the distillery to call home. Bassett noting that the stills have been brought out of South Africa to produce the rum here in Freeport.
We're going to use these stills to produce our lineup of rum. Our first offering, which is already ready, is the hammered coconut rum. You know, it has a picture of the hammerhead on the label. We actually chose the name Hammered because rather than the standard 21 or 30% alcohol on coconut rums, we've gone with a 40%. So you might want to be careful of this one. And then the other rum that's ready at the moment is our Floating Pig spiced rum. Obviously, we did the Floating Pig. It's one of the iconic tourist activities here in the Bahamas.
Alan says the idea is to share a taste of the Bahamas, and they've created packaging to represent the islands, something they can be proud of. While he says they are still perfecting the recipes for the other 4 bottles, they are expected to be released for purchase in the coming weeks. He says they're also looking to hire a number of Grand Bahamians.
As soon as we know where we stand on distribution of our products, we're going to need to do some hiring as far as bottling and labeling and also some record keeping and office type of staff. So we're going to look at hiring somewhere between 5, 7, 8 people in the next couple of weeks, and then as the distillery grows, obviously, you know, we're starting at ground level here. My dreams for this distillery is to be big. You know, my dream is to have vast distribution across the globe, and as we grow, I envision adding 30 to 50 staff.
Now the Bahamas Distillery Company is located on Oak Street. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, it is a $2 million investment in the maritime sector and a future training ground for those that will provide many employment opportunities for Bahamians. The LNet Maritime Center will serve also as a warehouse and logistics facility. Tonight, our Jamila Mizik has a full report on the opening ceremony.
It was an historic day for LNet Maritime Agency as owners of the Maritime Center on Queens Highway celebrated its grand opening. President Albert Hepburn says at just 28 years old, he knew his vision of owning his own business would soon become reality. LNet Maritime Agency started in 2008, and some 14 years later, it is one of the leading maritime agencies in the Bahamas.
This journey here that my family and I have embarked on some 14 years ago has been an inspiration to us, has been an inspiration to family, and has been an inspiration to friends and even strangers. But if you were to take anything from this, what we've done here today to this point and what we're going to do in the future, take this. If you dream it and you believe it, you can definitely do it.
Now, a number of distinguished guests were taken on a tour of the facility. Minister for Transport and Housing, JoBeth Colby-Davis, expressing her ministry's commitment to playing its part in positively impacting the maritime sector.
My executive leadership team and I understand the importance of maintaining dialogue with stakeholders in the industry and collaborating with policymakers to ensure that we continue to advance the maritime industry. Therefore, I wish to take this opportunity to reassure the principals of the LNet Maritime Center of my ministry's commitment to a supportive partnership.
Opposition leader Michael Pintar taking the time to congratulate Hepburn on his many accomplishments.
What you are doing today and the partnership you have with various stakeholders will set a standard for other Bahamians to follow. And so I wish to congratulate you and let you know that we are absolutely committed as members of Parliament on this island in collaborating with you and persons who are establishing huge businesses in Grand Bahama, because you are, in fact, a part of the top tier of entrepreneurs that exists. You are giving birth to new businesses through your CARES Foundation, and I hope that you continue that wonderful program where a number of entrepreneurs benefited from the grants that you've given over the years.
Now also in attendance was Prime Minister Philip Davis. Davis commending Hepburn for providing opportunities for Bahamians to work around the world as leaders in the global maritime sector.
I'm especially happy that you are so keen to be the rising tide that lifts others with you. Yeah. I encourage you to keep telling your story, to keep spreading the message. Let more Bahamians know how the maritime industry is an open door leading to vast opportunities. At the appropriate time, I hope that there will be opportunities for you to partner with the government in some of our many initiatives relating to the blue economy. For now, I wish you well and pray God's continuing blessings on your business.
Now, after a brief ceremony, the ribbon was cut.
1, 2, 3. Woo!
Officially opening the new LNet Maritime Center. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, businessman Albert Hepburn also weighing in on the investment climate here on Grand Bahama. He believes stakeholders can do more to revitalize the island by engaging business persons collectively for the betterment of Grand Bahama.
Authority has never engaged me in that type of factor, in that type of manner, in an effort to help bring more opportunities to Freeport. I personally, I've given my opinion based on what I've seen done over the years in the United States. And it's a system that presidents use, like every quarter, every half. They would have meetings, or let's just say a week-long seminar with some of the top-tier businessmen in the country in an effort to move the country's agenda forward. The presidents understand that there are business people in the USA that have connections globally that even the president of the United States doesn't have, and have relationships that he himself and his team doesn't have. So they pull these people in and they engage them in order to move the nation forward. What I saw the Port Authority as when I was younger is not what I'm seeing today. I saw it as a company or as an organization where foreign investors were just, to me, it just seemed like it was a tsunami and a flood of just opportunities. You know, as a high school student, I was able to go to the harbor, work at Discovery Cruise Lines as a porter, stevedore, and make like about $200 to $300 between a Saturday and a Sunday. My kids don't have those same opportunities. Young men and women don't even have those same opportunities. So it was so much more happening back then. To me, it seems as if it's a structure that's being managed, but whenever something breaks, it doesn't get fixed.
And when asked where he foresees Grand Bahama in the next 5 years, this is what Hepburn had to say.
I see it growing. I feel that this government is dedicated to applying the necessary pressure and or working with the Port Authority to create some sort of opportunity. I see them giving young business people in our business community support. And I've always been optimistic about Freeport. I've always been optimistic about Grand Bahama. I don't want to see whenever something bad happens, we all just say, or they say, or whomever say, okay, these are tough times and we can't do nothing, because I don't believe that. I believe in the worst of times, the greatest set of opportunities are created.
Now, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is set to meet with business owners and residents on Grand Bahama on Wednesday, March 16th to discuss concerns and future investments on the island. Switching gears now, police officials needs your help in locating wanted suspect, 32-year-old Abdul Rondon Burrows of Pinedale 8 Mile Walk. Burrows is wanted by the Criminal Investigations Department for possession of an unlicensed firearm with the intent to endanger life. He is described as 5 feet 8 inches tall, dark brown, average height. Police say he should be approached with extreme caution and is considered to be armed and dangerous. Now, if you know the whereabouts of 32-year-old Rondon Burrows, you can contact the police at 352-1919, 350-3106-9, or 911. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Come on down. Come on down. Now.
KMW Battery and Tires. Brake installation. Brake parts not included. Labor starts at $40. Open up Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in today.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water, apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Breaking news as it happens in the palm of your hands. Download the ZNS app and keep up with your favorite radio stations, breaking news articles, and live coverage wherever you are. The ZNS app, available in the Android and iOS store.
They try to push rich on me. They want push rich on me. They don't care if I'm the company.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Transport's national drill exercise taking place throughout the country, receiving positive reviews here on Grand Bahama. Over on the island of Bimini, officials also testing their emergency response time and readiness in the event of a disaster. The simulated explosion taking place near the cruise port in North Bimini yesterday. Port facility representative Michael Wilson says the drill went well.
Because also not only on the security side, but as police, the clinics, defense force, it's going to give them an opportunity to see, well, hey, if we do have a disaster, we may be lacking in certain areas, whether the clinic may not have enough beds or equipment to treat injured persons. The police may say, well, we may not have enough officers on the island and stuff like that. So that's what, this not only for the port facility, but also other agencies to see and test their capabilities in the event there's a natural disaster.
Wilson is also a security manager at the Resorts World property. With thousands of visitors on the island, he says that it is important to have a disaster plan in place that works.
We have about 1,300 to 1,400 spring breakers on the island right now. We have a cruise ship right now in port, and we just want everybody to feel safe and know that, hey, if we do have any kind of incident, we are ready and capable to respond.
Now, the disaster simulated exercise also took place here in Grand Bahama, Abaco, New Providence, Eleuthera, and Inagua. Switching gears now, what could have turned into an unfortunate situation, these young men decided to take a different action. Bahamian artist Chris Bain, rapper Addis, and Jackson Matthew all came together to send a strong message to the community through music. Bain and Addis says the song Resolution was inspired by the incident that occurred several weeks ago between Bain and Jackson, adding that instead of resorting to violence, they decided to do so with peace and love instead.
It was very inspirational. It's showing a lot of love, reconciliation, happiness, moving forward, how to walk away because you love, turn the other cheek. We often don't display what it is to walk the other cheek. It's not let someone slap you on the next side. It's simply turning away. It's simply turning away if someone do you something wrong, or if I offend you, or you offend me. Let's walk away, or let's deal with it a different way.
Being able to take such a powerful message and live in the exemplification of what it means to live in peace shows that when young people come together and unify, they could be the example that they hope to live for. By doing this now, we serve the mindset for the next generation. So it's a small step we're taking to innovate tomorrow.
I hold my peace so I can show love.
And the video shows ways in which persons can resolve matters peacefully, like boxing as a form of conflict resolution. Addis adds that the inspiration behind the song gives a friendly reminder to persons who may be experiencing conflict.
Figure what the problem is first, because most people is getting a conflict and they don't never know what it's about. You know what I mean? So talk about it, figure what the problem is, and try to solve it.
If there's anything that you do inside of your lifetime, speak as much kind words as possible, because you never know what someone is going through. You never know what story lies behind another person. So just be the best person you possibly could be and live the example you hope to show.
Now, for anyone interested in watching Resolution by Chris Bain, you can visit YouTube, iTunes, or any other streaming platforms. And speaking of social media, there is a new challenge in the TikTok world, and our ZNS News Northern Service team is joining in. So hear who our news team is passing the phone to.
I am passing the phone to the biggest jokester in the newsroom.
Well, so he thinks.
I'm passing the phone to a light-skinned brother.
I'm passing the phone to the queen of content.
I'm passing the phone to someone you could never reach on WhatsApp.
I'm passing this phone to my greatest work pass.
I'm passing the phone to somebody who thinks he knows it all.
I'm passing the phone over to ZNS Nerd.
I'm passing the phone to someone who has to say something to Joe Byron right now.
I'm passing the phone to somebody who just cut their hair, so right now my hair is longer than theirs.
I'm passing the phone to someone I know you can get a quarter from anytime.
I'm passing the phone to the shortest woman in here who believes she rules people.
I'm passing the phone to someone who always got a story to tell.
It is a TikTok challenge, and I'm sure the young people will certainly get it. But if you want to keep up with our ZNS Northern team, be sure to follow us at ZNS North on all the social media platforms. And that is it for news. Here's a check on Friday sports with our Ramiko Knowles.
Welcome to ZNS Total Sports, your #1 source for sports in the North. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Topping Sports, March is recognized as Police Month, and officials are outlining a number of sporting events that they have planned. Detective Superintendent of Police Darrell Ware says during the entire month of March, police will be in action.
Here in Grand Bahama, we got started last Friday past. We had a dart competition at Northeastern. People came out to support us, and I really appreciate the public for coming out and along with the officers who came out and support officers. Central Division was the winning team, and we also have a lot of events going forward.
And this coming Saturday, March 12th, it will be a battle of the strongest.
This coming Saturday, we'll have the strongman competition, then we'll have the grill. On Wednesday of next week, we'll have a pool tournament again up there at Northeastern. That Saturday, we'll have a sharpshooter. We'll be held at our shooting range. Then we'll do our next community walkaway sometime during the month of, I think it's on the 23rd. We'll have a community giveaway. The boss, Mr. ACB Kandam, will be going out to areas within Grand Bahama and giving out to the people that needy and people who need stuff.
House sports continuing throughout Grand Bahama. The Tabernacle Falcons were at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex today. We stopped by to capture the action. We got there just in time to catch the under-7 girls 200 meters. Look at those little feet go. Did you enjoy the race?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because I come first like 2 times. So for the race, and my mommy could be proud of me. I had fun because I come in second and first, and then my mommy was so proud of me. They were so proud of me because I come in first. Yes, Dad.
That's all. You wanted to get a ribbon? Head of the primary school and kindergarten department, Dorcas Vega, says the kids were excited to be back on the track and they're looking forward to island sports.
The children are so overwhelmed by the joy of just having an opportunity to be back in competitive way and showing their talent through running, and we're just honored to be back. The kids enjoy competing, so I hope this year that they have an opportunity to compete in island sports, and also that we can redeem our position as being first underneath the small schools division.
And that is your check on sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, have a great weekend.
Save the date, March 17th through March 21st. Buy 2, get 1 free at Pandora, Port Lacayo. Over 1,000 styles to choose from at Pandora.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with ZNS to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
Are you looking for a convenient way to have your blood work done? Well, look no further. Phlebotomy on the Go is here to serve you with their professional lab technician in phlebotomy. Call us at 242-533-0659. We're here to serve you.
Come on down and shop with your local vendors at the Champs Community Center Pop-Up Shop, Saturday, March 12th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located across the street from Hawksbill Gas Station, home of the Falcons Boys Club.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Garnell Kemp, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We thank you for your support and we want you to enjoy your weekend. That is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shashina Wolf-Arkinson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, a life of torment ends in death. A former parliamentarian vindicated. Hoteliers encouraged by the CDC's COVID travel upgrade. And a national basketball team member gives back. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopindo. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Experts say it's a classic case of domestic violence. You're in a relationship, there's an expression of love, but sprinkled liberally over all that are repeated episodes of abuse and harm. Dangerous? Yes. But as the case last night, at times deadly. This, from all accounts, the story of Carissa Culmer. Bahamas Crisis Center Administrator Cleopatra Christie says it best. Here we are again. And that here she speaks of a clear reference to the tragedy that befell another young mother here in the capital. Less than 2 months after 21-year-old Heavenly Tervias was killed at the hands of a boyfriend, alleged domestic abuse victim Carissa Culmer took her life.
Sometime after 8 p.m. this evening, police received reports of a female being found in a room unresponsive. And as a result, our officers were dispatched. And on their arrival, they were directed to a room at a lodging on West Bay Street, where they found a female hanging in a room. They also found a infant child, a toddler child, a male child, in the room along with the female. At this time, we believe that the person would have taken a cord and perhaps used the leverage from the ceiling and hung themselves.
While it's now up to an autopsy to determine Carissa's exact cause of death, officials believe trauma could have ultimately pushed her over the edge. Sadly, Carissa's story is one that is well known. Moved to tears, she spent 20 minutes sharing details on social media, letting followers in on the torment that continued at every turn. And this despite her best efforts to remove herself from a worsening situation.
This really get around. Like, last night, I was inside my bed. Laying down. And I hear the door, like someone trying to break into the door. And I started screaming, help me, and oh my God, like the first thing I did was try to call my mentor, my sister, my mentor, and like I was like scared. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. That was my child's father. The last time he came to me, he came that same time. He jumped the gate and came in the yard, and he started, I had, oh Lord, yes. He all there with me, there with me, there with me, there with me. All he trying to kill me, all he trying to kill me, trying to kill me, trying to kill me. Like, it's been going on for so long. And
That's the problem with domestic violence. According to Christie, it's a situation that finds the perpetrator seeking to control. And while many are quick to argue that these victims need only get out of such relationships, that's easier said than done.
It's a very complex situation. There are many variants that one must consider when you make this suggestion. Well, just move on, get out, get another house. But there are children to be considered, there's rent, there's whether the person has a job. It's a financial situation. How am I going to manage? How am I going to take care of my children? These are very important questions.
Christie goes on to reiterate a message heard time and time again. Domestic violence in any form and on anyone is just not acceptable. Referring to Carissa's case, here's her advice.
She referred to a mentor. It appears as if she had someone who she was able to turn to. Lots of people don't. So, yes, turn to your mentor if there's one. Tell somebody about what is happening in your life. Because one of the things the abuser doesn't want, he doesn't want you to tell others, and he doesn't want you to be in contact with family and friends.
The center offers counseling, and while Christie acknowledges it's not the ideal situation, there's also assistance with short-term housing.
If you're not working, a week, 2 weeks, a month is not sufficient. You need a longer period of time. You need somewhere where you can stay and be comfortable, take care of your children, ensure that your children are attending school, that they have food, that they have school uniforms and all of that, all of those necessary things.
The Crisis Center has a 24-hour hotline, 328-0922. Local stats show that 95% of domestic violence cases are perpetrated by men. Well, condolences pouring in tonight to the family of 24-year-old Carissa Culmer, who both State Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, the Honourable Lisa Ramming, and Senate President, the Honourable Lachelle Adderley, fondly remember as a lovely and kind-hearted young woman who so desperately wanted to make a difference in her life and her country. The woman learned of Carissa's crisis when her story went viral on social media. At the time, the Senate President immediately contacted her and invited her to attend a Senate session in a push to bring further awareness to domestic violence. Minister Ramming, meantime, was able to secure resources to assist Carissa and her son, and even invited her to address Urban Renewal's domestic violence training session. The minister says in her interactions, she found Carissa to always be bubbly, warm, and engaging. A sweet soul is how Senator Adderley found her, one who was so appreciative and thankful for the consistent support, encouragement, and love she'd been shown, one who spoke with excitement about the new season of her life. Through a joint statement, the two women renewed their commitment to fight against gender-based violence and mental health issues. Well, as has become all too familiar behind such tragedies is the public outcry, begging the need for great reforms and resources. For State Minister of Public Service, the Honourable Pia Glover-Roll, like many, she believes progress in this regard has been too slow and inadequate to address the scale and scope of the issues at hand. Standing with women's rights advocates, victims, and women, Glover-Roll is calling for swift action and more comprehensive work to be done to support women. We must, she says, engage with local stakeholders and pass the gender-based violence bill as soon as possible, adding that more must also be done to assist victims as well as the children impacted when such incidents occur. The minister also sees the need for greater awareness. She concludes with the message that the time for action is now. Similar sentiments echoed by wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, who today charged that violence against women is a chronic problem here in the Bahamas. Using numbers as proof, she cited that just under 4,000 incidents of domestic violence against women were reported to police in the Bahamas in 2020. Mrs. Davis condemns poor conflict resolution and antiquated views toward gender roles contribute to the social ill.
A proclivity towards violence, poor conflict resolution skills, and antiquated views of gender roles have all contributed to a problem that is just as much a social and cultural issue as it is a policy and a legislative issue. We need all hands on deck if we are to make significant strides toward freeing our women from the oppressive violence that they face every day, every single day.
The wife of the Prime Minister's comments made this morning at BTC's International Women's Day Break the Bias conclave at Fusion Superplex. She recognized that acts of violence women face can range from being pushed aside in the grocery store to murders and rapes. Sexual violence, she believes, continues to be a barrier to women's equality.
Because of the many incarnations of this violence and the sheer ubiquity with which it saturates and permeates the lives of so many women, it can often go unnoticed, ignored, unrecognized for what it is, and therefore underreported. Identifying the solutions is as important as identifying the issues. It is about how we socialize our boys, how we prepare and educate our girls, and how we train our social workers, counselors, and police officers. Yes, the police officers need a lot of training.
Now, also weighing in on the tragedy, Transport and Housing Minister, the Honorable Jo Beth Colby Davis, who too sounded the alarm on the need to stamp out domestic violence and abuse against women. Her comments on the heels of former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, recently telling the media that public policy should be driven by what must be done to protect victims. When questioned about her stance on the issue of marital rape, the minister recited her previous concerns over the plight of women, backing it up with the Prime Minister's pledge to reshape marital rape laws.
The Prime Minister spoke that he will be requesting the Attorney General's office to look into updating and strengthening our laws as it relates to that. I also raised the concern of having so much domestic abuse and domestic violence against women that has been happening over the course of months. And so the bigger concern should be, how do we effectively respond to this as a collective body? Because whilst we may have laws in place and strengthen the laws that exist presently, we also need to have the community input and assist us in guiding persons, informing people, and helping them get out of certain situations so that they can better themselves. And so I think collectively together, the response should be strengthened, not only from the legislative side, but also from the community side.
In other news this evening, the Department of Public Prosecutions has abandoned its bribery trial of former Cabinet Minister Kenred Dorsett. Dorsett was charged with bribery, extortion, and misconduct in public office back in 2017. The prosecution later dropped two of those charges. Fast forward to today, and all of the charges have been thrown out. Here's Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, on what factors were considered.
The witness, Mr. Jonathan Ash, indicated his intention to not testify. Therefore, the Director of Public Prosecutions, having been advised by the senior officer, having conducted the matter, signed a noli prosecute in the matter of R versus Kenred Dorsett. This means that the prosecution has insufficient evidence to proceed, and therefore the case is abandoned.
Still to come, the CDC offers up good news for tourism, and COVID numbers remain low. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome to a world
where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. Say she getting married?
Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Since eating at KFC, Shanika became the new savings meme. Get a KFC Mega Mash Bucket Meal with 8 pieces of tender, juicy chicken, a Mega Mashed Potato with gravy, and 4 buttery biscuits, starting at only $20, including VAT, and save like an expert at KFC. Order on WhatsApp at 557-3663. KFC Nassau.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
One on New Providence, another on Grand Bahama, and a third on Exuma make up the new COVID infections for a countrywide total of now 33,191. As of March 10th, hospitalizations were at 13, with 2 of the sick being cared for on the intensive care unit. We can also tell you that at last count, active cases were at 110 and recoveries at 11. Deaths holding firm at 771, with still 43 under investigation. As for RT-PCR test, 243 were completed, just 1 of them a repeat. And those declining COVID numbers, just what the U.S. Centers for Disease Control needed to amend its travel advisory to the Bahamas. The Minister of Health and Wellness shared with our Cleopatra Murphy that a COVID-19 mandate could also soon change.
The U.S.-based Centers for Disease Control has lowered the COVID-19 threat level advisory rating for the Bahamas from the peak level 4 to a 3. Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says the news bodes well for the country and its rebounding tourism industry.
It is very important for the tourism sector because visitors from around the world usually visit the CDC site to see exactly where the country rating is. And so for us, going from level 4 to level 3 will have a significant impact on our tourism sector.
There has been a sustained downward trend in new COVID-19 cases for several weeks, with just 3 cases reported on the most recent dashboard that Darville says is also good news for the reopening of the other sectors of the economy. Hotel executives have called for the removal of the mask mandate, a call Darville says could soon be answered as the EOC is currently debating the issue.
Very soon, some of the restrictions as it relates to mask wearing in outdoors will be modified. We are still concerned about mask requirements indoors when we have large congregations of people, and the importance of practicing the necessary healthcare protocols. But But as you see what's going on around the world, a lot of countries are now looking at the mask mandate and doing some things to alleviate its use, particularly outdoors.
The Minister of Health says he is grateful to the Bahamian public that has helped to push infection numbers down. Even with low COVID-19 case numbers, Darville continues to urge the public to get vaccinated against the virus.
Vaccination is one of the greatest tools for any country to work its way out of the pandemic. The more people in our country vaccinated, the less people who are exposed to COVID end up at our tertiary facilities. And the incidence of morbidity and mortality as a result of COVID-19 is reduced.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, the hotel sector expected to yield even more guests now that the CDC's elevated the country's travel advisory. The Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association president shared his views with our Altavis Munnings.
Very encouraged and a step in the right direction is how President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Robert Sands, is describing the CDC's new travel advisory to the Bahamas that's been elevated from level 4 to level 3. In fact, Mr. Sands is confident that due to the decrease in COVID-19 cases here in the Bahamas, that advisory could be elevated from level 2 to even level 1 in a matter of months.
The Bahamas has demonstrated to the world that we take COVID seriously. That we have exercised the protocols, and now that we have demonstrated that we are getting to a better place, we continue to commend the government on continuing to relax some of these protocols that act as inhibitors to potential travel to the destination, the Bahamas.
And believe it or not, with thousands of visitors on record, the CDC's travel advisory did impact travel here.
The designation of a Category 4 put pressure on a lot of group organizers to recommend the destination going forward. So it was a crutch to encourage more delayed booking decisions, and also created opportunities for reductions in numbers or even cancellations at this point in time. The elevation takes away some of those elements, and we are very happy. This is certainly a step in the right direction.
The new CDC advisory is anticipated, though, to propel hotel occupancy numbers in the coming months. That includes spring break and the robust summer periods. Keep in mind, challenges still remain.
We do see increased numbers and occupancies in hotels that are currently open, and also we know that it's a large amount of taking advantage of the vacation market sector, and also the cruise lines are also getting back to a level of buoyancy. All of those things together, a perfect storm for a continued upward trajectory of tourism in the Bahamas.
Altavis Munnings, ZNS Network News.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
Bahamian art and photography took center stage at the current Bahama Art Gallery, paying homage to the late Bahamian photographer Roland Rose.
We just really want to celebrate. We consider Roland to be one of the master artists in the Bahamas, not even in the realm of photography, just like transcending photography. He's a super artist. And so we're really happy to celebrate his work moving forward and kind of just bring exposure, to him and what he kind of stood for in his practice.
John Cox, Bahama's Executive Director of Arts and Culture, believes that art should be used to showcase the country's unique beauty and can draw attention to community, conservation, and culture.
And I think that art and the creative sphere is such a perfect vehicle to bring attention to these types of causes. So, as I mentioned, conservation, community, culture, there are three pillars, but in my mind, they're really just kind of like one, they're really kind of inseparable if you think about it. So, everything that we do from an artist perspective, from an artistic perspective, in the context of the foundation, to me, ropes in, the other pillars as well. And this tonight is a perfect example of that.
I'm Lauren Seymour, and this is Tourism Today.
Hungry and looking for something so satisfying? Something to truly tantalize your taste buds? Then make it Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. Also serving up a variety of delicious wings, freshly cooked to order under 10 minutes. With 2 locations to serve you. Mall at Marathon, open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And the East-West Highway, next to Solomon's, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. 393-3100.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
If you're looking for great specials, then you should march into your favorite super value and quality supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.59. Seabass tuna, 5 ounce, 2 for $1.98. Olivia vegetable or canola oil, 48 ounce, $4.99. Wild caught salmon, $7.99 per pound. Fresh tomatoes, $1.89 per pound. Save all March long at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here.
So tight. Is she going to get there?
I believed in Tokyo, the belief that I could be, we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Shawnee Miller-Weibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
Patrick J. Bethel High School students staging a protest today. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson in a voice note chalking it up to a teacher shortage that needs to be addressed immediately.
Patrick J. Bethel needs 4 English teachers, 4 mathematics teachers, 2 social studies teachers, 2 physical education teachers, and a biology teacher. And the absurdity is that these students who do not have teachers will be expected to write national examinations, BJC and BGCSE, that starts next month, April. But today, Patrick J. Bethel teachers took a stand. 95% of the teachers at Patrick J. Bethel High called in today.
Well, State Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Zane Liborn, says education officials learned of the protest during a meeting on Thursday.
There are some teachers, I understand, that are being immediately sent. As of yesterday, when we met on this, teachers were identified for the last about 2 weeks now, and just the process of getting them to the island, getting them paid, making sure that they have everything that they need to move. So that is a number of those are other agencies that are involved with part of that process, and the Ministry of Education is trying to see if we can hurry that along. I understand the parents' concern. I would be concerned also. We have said that this is the only school that has been fully virtual since we opened back up in a hybrid mode.
The state education minister acknowledging a nationwide teacher shortage of around 280 due to COVID-19 health and safety regulations.
With social distancing requirements of COVID, as we know, has caused us to have classrooms that are 3 feet distance in terms of students and teachers. So with doing that, we need more classrooms and therefore more teachers. And we are hoping that we can get out of this COVID environment, which would cause us to be able to go back to the general population of classes. And that will cause us to be able to respond better to the needs. It will shrink in terms of the numbers needed. This is a focus for us, and we are going to get the teachers to those schools so the students can get their education.
A primary school here in the capital reaping the benefits of in-person learning since resuming over 2 weeks ago. Carla Palmer has that story.
Back to school? Yeah! That's the reaction of the grades 5 and 6 classes at Palmdale Primary School on returning full-time for face-to-face instruction since the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2020. School reverted from the virtual platform for these students to in-person learning back on February 23rd this year. And Osnia Pintard and Kamaya Poitier could not be any happier.
It's refreshing because when I was on virtual, my internet, it wasn't always stable and I was always getting bumped off, so I didn't get to catch everything my teachers were saying. But now that I'm back in school, I can absorb everything like I'm a sponge.
I actually feel great because ever since I came back face-to-face, I've been getting better grades, I've been understanding the work better, and I get to see my friends.
Principal Mrs. Phyllis Johnson is also elated school is in full-time session, as many students, she says, were being negatively impacted by the virtual online platform.
There were about 30% of our students not enrolled in education for about 2 years. I can say that from the onset of the year, we had an attendance rate of 67%, but I proudly boast that at present, that has increased to 89%, with room capacity being anywhere from 22 to 24 students.
Now, currently, Principal Johnson says Palmdale Primary is recording 100% enrollment of its 447 student complement.
I feel as though the face-to-face modality has increased the attendance rate of our students. Not many students might have benefited from the virtual platform for various reasons, and we are appreciative of opportunities for equity and equality for all.
Still, while back in school fully, faculty and students are being encouraged to follow all health and safety protocols. And the experience should be a bit easier now that their sanitization station has been upgraded to include a full-body walkthrough station. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Well, for years, we've highlighted the academic achievements of young people in our Student of the Week features. But what have they been up to? Well, Don Davis tracked down the first student in this week's edition of Student of the Week. Where are they now?
Graduating from St. John's College, I came to the University of the Bahamas. I was accepted under the Family and Consumer Science bachelor's degree.
It's an academic dream fulfilled for government high school teacher aide Jernique Minus. Come May, the 20-year-old Green Giant alumni will receive her bachelor's degree in Family Affairs and Consumer Science.
We have about 10 weeks of actually training to become teachers. So we write unit plans, we write our lesson plans. We teach about 5 classes a week. We have to create our content videos. Not all of the schools are back face-to-face, so some teachers are still doing asynchronous lessons, and it's a lot. It's a very taxing process, but in the end, it would all be worth it. I teach family and consumer science. So at the junior level, family and consumer science deals with housing, etiquette, children, finance. But at the senior level here where I teach, we deal mostly with clothing construction, and food and nutrition. It's an enjoyable experience being able to see my students now, even if I go out, although they'll say, well, hey, Miss Minus or Miss Minus this, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad that I'm able to make a difference in their lives.
But the former deputy head girl is not just a bookworm. She wears the crown as Miss University of the Bahamas.
So I do have a Mr. University of the Bahamas, Anthony Stirrup. So what we do is that we are the student ambassadors. So students come to us, anything that they want implemented at the university or any concerns or comments that they have, we speak to them and we try to get those initiatives to better the university, because we're all for our students and making sure that their time there at the University of the Bahamas is best and it's fulfilling as their tertiary education. Also, any current events or anything that's happening, we go, we represent, we network with persons.
The big question then, will Durnig head back to Giant Territory to take up a teaching post there, or spread her wings and fly to the Family Islands?
So I'm bonded to the government, so in May, after I graduate, hopefully, we're filling out our application and everything, I will be placed in the government system, maybe to the Family Islands or maybe here in Nassau.
LaDon Davis with the Student of the Week. Where are they now?
And as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more to come after the break.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Avery's has been around from 1992 in an area far away from most things. In 2018, I picked up the mantle. At the onset that I would have taken over, I was connected to Cable Bahama, and I'm always trying to enhance my Avery's package. And I wanted to expand my customer satisfaction through technology. Everybody comes in and they want to use the Wi-Fi. They want to be able to go live, show off the food and the ambience and the entertainment. So since I've been using the Aero device, my buffering almost went to zero. There's no interruption in that service, which is phenomenal. I would recommend the Aero device to anyone to use it. It works.
From the time we open, we create moments of joy for everyone we serve. We use every encounter to show how we are different. Stop in and enjoy our freshly prepared breakfast on the go for your family. Or even having your favorite food delivered where you can easily connect with your friends. Our commitment is serving you quality food from our restaurant. Go ahead and dip your French fries in your frosting. Cheers to better days ahead. That's what makes Wendy's different on the inside and out.
While New Providence seems to carry the bulk of visitor numbers, Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association President Robert Sands assures Family Island hotels are holding their own.
We are very satisfied that business has been picking up, certainly in the southern Bahamas. Grand Bahama or the northern Bahamas has not been faring as well because they have been the recipients of catastrophes. But we've seen growth year over year, certainly in the southern or middle Bahamas. The marine sector, certainly private yachting and private boating has also been a very positive uptick. And certainly, as I've mentioned, that hotels in New Providence that are open are also seeing a turnaround and a very encouraging booking pace for the rest of this winter and forward bookings as well.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. Outside of our studios, mostly clear skies, temperature 77 degrees, the relative humidity at 83%, south-southeast winds at 9 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars, that is 30.02 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79s in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Tool, Key, and Marshall, Barbacoa. The Berry Islands at 78 degrees, Allenstown, Bimini, 80, 79 in Harbor Island. Rockstown, Eleuthera, 80 degrees, 79 in Black Point, Exuma, and Camps Bay, South Andros, Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 78 degrees. 80s in Otterstown, Cadalum, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, 81 degrees, 80 in Rygat Island, Clarence, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, Matthew Town, Inagua, 81 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also at 81 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tall King, and the Paint Center. In the northwestern islands tonight, southerly winds, 12 to 18 knots. Those winds slowly increasing, wave heights building 3 to 6 feet. Low tide takes place at 8:34 this evening. In the central and southeastern islands, southeasterly winds at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. And then tomorrow, which is Saturday in the northwestern islands, the winds are going to be south to southwest, increasing further 15 to 20 knots ahead of a cold front that's heading this way. Wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Low tide, that would take place at 9:45 in the morning with a high tide at 3:29 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands on Saturday, the wind southeast to south at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. And as we take you into Sunday, behind that front, the winds are going to blow out of the north to northeast for the northwest and central Bahamas, increasing further to 15 to 25 knots. Very rough seas on Sunday, 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we will be putting some advisories in place for small boaters on Sunday. Low tide will take place at 11:39 in the morning, high tide at 5:25 in the afternoon. In the southeast Bahamas on Sunday, north to northeast winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags up. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
She texts me back. She says she ready for summertime.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered,
what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Avery's has been around from 1992 in an area far away from most things. In 2018, I picked up the mantle. At the onset that I would have taken over, I was connected to Give Bahama, and I'm always trying to enhance my Avery's package. And I wanted to expand my customer satisfaction through technology. Everybody comes in and they want to use the Wi-Fi. They want to be able to go live, show off the food and the ambience and the entertainment. So since I've been using the Aero device, my buffering almost went to zero. There's no interruption in that service, which is phenomenal. I would recommend the Aero device to anyone to use it. It works.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Molfix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Molfix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Molfix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening on a Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Let's wrap up sports for the week with the good news that regattas can resume. The Exuma Sailing Club letting up the sails with their 4th junior mini regatta this weekend in Elizabeth Harbor.
We're going to have 3 classes of boats. We're going to have 19 Optimist class, 13 in the Sunfish, and we're hoping to have 8 or 9 of the local Bahamian Junior E-class sloops. Almost all of the kids participating are from Exuma. We have a visitor from Nassau. We're hoping to have some from Staniel Key and Grand Bahama as well. I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but this is a great time to showcase the talent in Exuma, and all the kids that race and practice against each other all year now have a chance to officially compete for some prizes and trophies and some bragging rights. So all the kids are very, very excited to get on the water for another ESC regatta.
National basketball team player and former pro player in Spain and Asia, Ronnie Cado, is back home and bouncing his skills to the youth.
Next Basketball is a youth basketball program dedicated to the development of our young basketball players here in the Bahamas, and that's what I'm focusing on now. Next Basketball is a program dedicated to on and off the court, basically dealing and helping these young kids to understand what it means to be an overall basketball player, not just ball-wise, but character. And throughout my career, that is what has helped me, and so that's what I want to give back to the youth. I did not have an opportunity like this growing up, and I understand what it means to give back. It's not just ball. I've seen the kids grow a lot, and using the platform of basketball to reach these kids is very, very important. So I feel like this is an avenue that I could give back in, and that's what I'm doing.
The ages range from 10 to 18 for boys and girls.
It's held at the Hope Center, and it's also held in an indoor facility 2 days per week now. But once the summer gets in, we'll probably go 3 to 4 days a week. They can contact me. I have a number next as a number 535-9354, or they could email next, which will provide all the information for them to contact us.
So far, so good.
It's been very well. It's been a very good turnout. Kids and parents believe in it, and I've seen growth from day one. Every kid that came to the program is not left the same. They continue to develop every day, and we're happy.
One time ago, all the ball players wanted to do was dunk. Nowadays, it's shooting the threes like Steph.
If you can't shoot, you can't play in the game today. You got 7-footers being able to shoot 3-pointers, and so we want to focus on that. We want to give the guys the basics that they need for the next level, at an early stage, which I felt was lacking in the Bahamas for some years. And so having the experience that I have now, I understand it's important to get the basics in. And so we want to teach them the techniques, the proper way to shoot, proper way to dribble, proper way to play defense, and just the proper way to play basketball.
The University of Bahamas Athletic Department is celebrating International Athletic Training Month, which is an opportunity to spread awareness of the impact athletic trainers have on sports and student athletes.
A lot of times we are first on the scene. We act as the first responders when we think about the whole sports medicine model. When a kid goes down on the field or on the court, traditionally the athletic trainer is the first on scene, does the assessment, makes a judgment call on whether or not that athlete can return to play. And we see them day to day. So when they do sustain an injury, we go through their rehab. And a lot of times at the end of that rehab, we're the ones that are there that return them to play.
And that's going to be a wrap on Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Enjoy your weekend.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here.
So tight. Is she going to get there?
I believed in Tokyo, the belief that we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Shawnee Miller-Weibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
It's time to spring forward. On Sunday, March 13th, daylight saving time comes into effect. So at 2 a.m., remember to turn your clocks forward by 1 hour. This message brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
New year, new time. Watch Conversations with Christ every Sunday at 10 a.m. And I'll tell you why. Because God said 1,000 years is like a day for me. And that's why you could have a thief on the cross pray for just a few seconds and get forever, and get forgiveness, and get eternity. So every single Sunday for 30 minutes, we're going to praise God together. So every Sunday at 10 a.m., Conversations with Christ.
It's a celebration. The Pentecostal Assemblies of the World Bahamas Turks and Caicos Council is celebrating its 73rd Annual General Convention under the theme, Standing on a Firm Foundation. You're welcome to tune into the rebroadcast of the opening service this Sunday, March 13 at 8 p.m. right here on ZNS Network as we celebrate God's faithfulness. The dynamic speaker is none other than Diocesan Bishop Ellis J. Farrington. It's going to be an impactful service with an awesome worship experience and an edifying word. So tune in this Sunday, March 13, 8 p.m. on ZNS Network and be blessed.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications Section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this channel. Some of the world's greatest heroes are teachers. It's for this reason that the Ministry and Department of Education and Technical and Vocational Training want to ensure that our teachers are fully supported. To this end, the ministry is conducting a survey for public school teachers with a goal to hear your concerns. Be sure to look out for the survey, which will be sent via your 365 ministry email. Deadline to complete March 18th, 2022. You are valuable teachers. You are the lifeline of our education system. Let your voices be heard. Remember that we care and you matter. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications Section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this channel.
Time
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, if you take a look at our satellite picture, you can see quite a bit of moisture across the central Florida peninsula, and that's associated with a frontal system which has stalled over the last couple of days, but it will get that final push. We expect it to move through the northwest Bahamas late on Saturday evening, Saturday night, bringing with it some showers, but most importantly, a nice cool down will take place as of Sunday of this weekend. Our forecast for tonight, mainly clear, 74 degrees for your low temperature, and tomorrow it's going to be increasing winds with periods of clouds and sunshine, 84 degrees for your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast looking like this. We're going to have a mixed bag of sunshine on Saturday, but Saturday evening, Saturday night, you'll see clouds start to thicken up as that frontal system moves through the area, some showers as well, and then that cool down taking place. Watch those temperatures now. They're getting back into the mid-70s during the daytime on Sunday, 67 degrees in the nighttime, and that will continue for the next couple of days. Showers working their way back into forecast on Tuesday, and we will see lots more sunshine as we head into the latter part of next week. But just before I signed off, I'd just like to extend condolences to Gladys Lightburn, who laid to rest her husband, James Lightburn, earlier this morning at Wesley Methodist Church. That's there on Malcolm Road. May his soul rest in peace. McKishler.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
It's a part of all of our lives. ZNS TV is where we go for information, entertainment, and enjoyment. ZNS is there with something for everyone. ZNS TV, a part of our lives for 40 years.
Make sure that your mission is intact. Yes, Mom! Agent 1, what is a touch? Physical contact, Mom. Agent 2, what is a good touch? Touches that make you feel alright, Mom. Such as? A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, Mom. Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch? Touches that make you feel not so good, Mom. Like a slap, a kick, a pinch, and most important, if someone touches your private part. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch? You tell a trusted adult, Mom. For help, Mom. Tell them, don't do that, Mom. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are okay. And bad touches are not okay. So, Agent, go spread the word. Yes, Mom.
On the picture, your parents, them over there watching you. You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never shown me before? You raise your hand at me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together? With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you punching on me. You punch me?
This ain't no playground. You're gonna know before you leave today. If you leave, if they find some space, I can teach you all how to disrespect. It's a whole new season. Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it. Watch their transformation. It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner. Be awake. You a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you doing? The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this channel. Some of the world's greatest heroes are teachers. It's for this reason that the Ministry and Department of Education and Technical and Vocational Training want to ensure that our teachers are fully supported. To this end, the ministry is conducting a survey for public school teachers with a goal to hear your concerns. Be sure to look out for the survey, which will be sent via your 365 ministry email. Deadline to complete March 18th, 2022. You are valuable teachers. You are the lifeline of our education system. Let your voices be heard. Remember that we care and you matter. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training in conjunction with this channel.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.